these two. So next one, I think it was GN. Okay, we did the, yeah, GN is the last one that they put in. Let's see. GN had some awkward moment. Wait. Okay. I was like, am I tripping? Oh, wow, look at the GN. Rejected the weekly resistance. Oh, this could be beautiful. Sell off. Let's look at this. Oh, I like this already. Oh, yeah, definitely like this. All right, so we do have, see how it already rejected this weekly level, right? So what I would personally wait for, I would wait for breakout of this channel because it is making ascending channel, and because the retrace was almost up to the impulse move, I cannot consider this bearish flag. Otherwise, it would have been. So to be safe, I would wait for the breakout. Oh, let me.
How do you choose which pairs to concentrate on for the trading week?
Great question, brother. I trade mainly gold and GBPs. So you see my list here. Let me show. You see my screen, right?
Yeah, I can see it.
Oh, okay. So here's my list. Excuse me. Here's my list on the side. So the pairs that are marked with blue is what I mainly trade. So I first look at the gold and all GBPs, and only if I don't see anything here, then I go to these euro pairs. I mainly like Euro AUD, Euro NZD, CAD, and JPY. Euro GBP hasn't really been, good to trade because it's been just trending up, small pullbacks and all that. I don't like trading that. I like to catch bigger moves. So that is how, I choose my pairs. I don't trade all of this here. All this that you see here, even Euro USD, it's all that people ask me to take a look at. So I go over it, and it gets saved there. But there's plenty of money to be made on those pairs because they are also most liquid. So I like to trade liquid pairs that are volatile. I don't want to enter. Let's see what we have here. Let's see, AUD CHF. So I don't want to enter this on Monday and wait till Friday to get 50 pips, because I can get that on, GBP pair in like 1 hour. Because these pairs, they are like NZD, CHF, CHF, JPY. You have to sometimes hold them for, a few days. I prefer to trade London until New York, and that's where I get my movement. Sometimes I have to hold trades throughout the New York session, but if I do hold them, I'm very confident that they will go my way. So, or I already have stop loss in profit. So just trying.
So you do view the specific trading sessions and only trade in those sessions?
Yes, exactly. Because that is part of my trading plan. I don't just trade 24 hours because you have to have the pairs. And the reason I trade specifically London, because British pound and euro moves in that session more than it moves in like Asian and
Wait, what session did you say that was again?
London.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I mainly trade London, and usually, what's that? Sorry.
No, you go ahead.
Yeah. So usually, I'm on at my computer between. I don't know. I think Noel is also on East Coast, but like midnight East Coast time or Eastern Standard Time till about 2-3 a.m. That is when the orders in the market accumulate pre-London, and I already know what I'm looking for, and based on which setup seems to be the best, those are the trades I take.
Okay. Do you set trades and set your stop loss and just let them work their way out? Do you stay up during that time and actually watch and manage your trades?
No, I go to sleep. I have my take profits, I have my stop loss, and I go to sleep.
That was me.
Yeah, because I usually have pretty good entries because I use Fibonacci's and I don't have a big stop loss. And I usually would wake up, obviously during the night after like 3 hours to go, to bathroom for the need, obviously. And then I would check my phone right before I go back to bed and just see if it's already in a profit. I would move my, stop loss at break even. Or if it's already moved 100 pips, I'll obviously move stop loss at 50 pips in profit and, just let it ride if my target is like, let's say 150 pips. So, but I will definitely, protect that trade, not to end up as a loser. And then if I'm holding it, once I wake up throughout the New York, then obviously, I can check it, like from like time to time. But I don't like the one thing that, messes up with you is you checking at your chart all the time. Like if you have MT4 app on your phone and you are in the trade, and then you just keep opening, checking, oh, is this gonna go blue? Is gonna go my way? That is not good because many reasons. Number one, you're not confident in that trade. Number two, by you opening and checking that active trade and being in a negative, it kind of, concerns you, messes you up. And I know because I've been there, I used to like, oh man, is this gonna go my way? It just messes with your psychology. You have to understand, even the best traders, I have two mentors and they are both making, millions every year in Forex. Even them like almost 50-60% of the time, the trade is in drawdown before it goes into profit. Because it's just anybody that makes you a claim that they are instantly blue every single trade that they take, I can guarantee you they're lying to you, because it's just impossible. Because you will always, not always, but most of the time, trades will be in, few pips drawdown, even when you have a great entry before it goes into, direction that you are, betting on.
Okay. So what is your trading strategy? Do you trade patterns? I see that you trade structure, support and resistance. Do you also trade supply and demand zones and patterns, or just the structure?
Yes, definitely patterns, but those are my favorite one, like these breakouts, the channels, and also, let's see here, mark this up. Also like this sideways structures, you see how it's here, and the breakouts, this was a fake breakout, you could have scalped it, but like this is the bigger breakout, you need to see how it break and retested this, zone right here, right? So you would obviously enter on this retest and write it up. And you would be, let's say you entered a little bit late, you still catch 160 pips.
So for that fake out, do you trade the retest to miss being caught in that fake out?
Well, this one, if I missed entry here, but let's zoom in. Good question. Let's zoom in so we can see it better. So let's say I saw this, pierce through, and then it gave this weak retest. So if I was to enter here, this trade essentially went 50 pips down, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I was there at the moment, obviously after like 25 pips, I would put my stop loss at break even and maybe let it ride. And if I was to go to bed, the worst case, I would be stopped out at the let's say break even, right? Because it as you can see, it turned back around. But like I would have maybe my take profit at 40 pips, and which would be hit because it went down 50 pips. Because I already know the intraday support is nearby. So I wouldn't, like here on this breakout, I wouldn't necessarily target immediately this weekly support because you already have one zone before that. and it did reverse. You see, this was the intraday supply zone, and you see how it touched and reversed back up.
Okay.
Yeah.
And if it's too detailed, you don't have to go into it, but can you kind of help me understand the difference between support and resistance and supply and demand?
So supply and demand, it's actually at the notable supports and resistances, right? I mainly like supply as a zone at the weekly supports, because all supply means is the price is coming down where people are interested to buy, right? And obviously, most of those reversal points happen around the weekly zones. So that's why I have my supply zones at the weekly supports or strong intraday supports. And you can tell that here. You see, this came back up. It fell back down and it gave fake breakout of this supply zone. But you see, it came right back up. And for this to so if you were in this cell, right, and you closed it, and now you are not sure whether you should buy or not, then you have this channel that just formed, and you just follow the channel until it breaks. Okay. So don't let the supply and demand confuse you. All that it is, it's pretty much the same thing as a key resistance and supply zone. It's just that there is certain ones that is overlap of them, like the ones that you see that hold strong, that pairs fail to break easily.
Okay.
So you just create confluence between them. And demand is when obviously demand, just by economical definition, when there is a too much demand, people start selling more, right? Because if you are a supplier, let's say you're selling Red Bulls, and I have company with 1,000 employees, and Red Bull is now famous. You have more demand, to sell. So that's why they refer to this as a demand zone, because people are selling from these points.
Okay. Yeah. So supply is where people want to buy, and demand is where people want to sell.
Yes. And that's the thing is, like big players I'm referring to, like swing traders who have like a few 100,000 accounts. They usually put sell limits and buy limits around these zones. Obviously they use some other things as a confluence, some patterns, like so let's say here, this is one example. We're watching it. So this is on 1 hour, and we are in the channel, right? And this is the weekly, resistance and demand zone. So somebody, I can guarantee you, has placed big lot on sell here, because it also created this double top pattern. You can even see it better on the line chart. See this?
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure this will fall down to at least this channel before we see if we actually get official breakout, so that we can take it down for good pips. And that's what people use as a confluence. You just have to find what you feel comfortable with and work with you. But I use this as well too. I just haven't traded this because I was in a gold and GJ, but this looks like it's going to be a really good trade for the upcoming week. So this could be either way it goes. Even if it breaks above and retests, keep riding this channel. You can still get, let's say you enter here, 100, 140 pips, right? Still great. Or what in most cases happens is, if you have this breakout, right, you wait for the channel retest, right? And look how this will make an amazing sell opportunity. So you just broke out of the ascending channel, and you retested that channel and weekly resistance. You see how I'm selling that like no even second guessing. And look at this. And if that happens, I can guarantee you it's going to fall back down to this level, because where's the previous swing low? It's right here, and it's the intraday support. So that should be almost 270 pip trade.
So on the retest, if it breaks the channel, what time frame do you look for it to retest, on the daily or on the 401 hour?
No, never on the daily, because on the daily it's gonna be too late. Usually on 1 hour.
Okay.
Yeah, usually on 1 hour. Because if you wait for 4 hour or a daily, that candle can be 200 pips and you already missed the move.
Okay.
So you wanna try to, if you already see that is happening, like as soon as you see this break, right? Or you have to, set yourself reminder, if you are willing to trade this, okay, I have to look for potential, retest here, or you switch this to the line chart, and then you wait for, not that, this, you wait for this consolidation breakout, right? If you don't get this retest, you wait for it to break this and put sell stop right here and write it down.
Okay.
Because that you're gonna also be writing it down with the bearish momentum. Does that make sense?
It does. Now, how can, because I've looked at sometimes the breakout trading, and I know you can get caught with like wicks coming down and grabbing it and going back up. How do you tell if a pair is very volatile where you'll get caught in that wick?
Like if the pair is very volatile?
Yes, sir.
So you have to then write down the list of the most volatile pairs. You can Google it, but I know which one of them are because I trade them. Like all of this here, and all euro besides euro GBP. That is kind of questionable.
Okay.
Because it's been, I don't like how it's been moving. So, but I think we finally got the breakout. Let me just peek at it. Oh, not so much. See it break the channel, retested, came back up. So I personally wouldn't trade this until it breaks below here and then gives us retest maybe into this intraday support, and then it's gonna be nice sell, 100 plus pips. But you see this, like, the hell is this? Like, if you enter the buy here, then amazing, but I missed it. See, this was just going up. This was, and look at it again around the weekly zone, and this was 290 pip rise. Nice trade. So we were at GN, I believe. Yeah. So yeah, that is how you do. I mean, I know also. I know two people who are, seven-figure traders, not personally, but through education. I met them, and they are like swing traders, and this is exactly how they trade. They have some more like a detailed, let's say, rules that they apply for entering, but essentially breakout, retest of the structure, and full. I mean, I don't know if you've been at the previous trainings, but you can see this everywhere. You'll look at this. It was the channel, breakout. You see this candle. If we zoom in, you got the retest with the wick, and look at drop. You would have been safe to enter sell anywhere here. Let's say even you were late and you entered here, but are you really late? 380 pips?
No, not at all.
So, and look at how I was referring to you. When this pattern breaks, it goes to the previous swing low. And did it go there? Yes, it did. Even further down. It's really simple. Like when I first took the training about this type of trade, I was like, man, like, what the hell? Like, where have I been? Like, where have you been to show me this? Like, this is stupidly easy, like, and simple. Like, all you see, you have to be able to spot these, channels, and then you break out and look, goes back to the swing low. And because GBP is so volatile, you're gonna get a few hundred pips out of it. And that is why you don't need to trade a lot. You just have to trade quality setups, Like, you will come across, a lot of signal providers. They send you 10 trades a day. I mean, you don't need that. And first of all, who can really catch, all 10 trades every day? When you can get more efficiency just out of, one trade. So I mean, you can see this anywhere. Even this was breakout too. See right here. Boom. See, it gave a little bit higher retest, but the thing is, it gave the retest into the weekly zone, and then it fell down. So it can be ascending, it can be descending channel, like here, but it's the same principle. You see. So here on the breakout, you can put sell stop or wait for it to give a little retrace, and then enter again. And let's say you enter here. Look, another 200 plus pip trade. It's really simple, and you don't need to complicate trading.
Can you kind of go back to the one you just showed me?
Which one? This one or
right here? So if I were to wait for the breakout of the channel right there and wait for the consolidation and take that trade, if I were to put my take profit at that weekly support, how do I look to re-enter that trade to go on down to the next one?
Very good question. Very good question. So you put your TP, it got hit, right?
Right.
And then you see the next candle come back down and retested and closes below the weekly zone. That is very key. You have to have like all those. You did a good job that you took your profits. Why? Because you see these wicks, and this is indecision, right? Because now you already know, okay, so it's time for me to take the profit because the bearish momentum has slowed down, and this is a really key zone. So potentially we can get some buyers in to take this back up, right? So you want to take your profits and wait for it to break below and closes below. So let's say you were skeptical here, okay, this is, hammer, not so sure. So then you wait, you can even wait for this one to finish and then enter when you see that there is continuation of the bearish momentum, and you still get 128 pips.
Okay.
So, and I don't want you guys to feel like you bother me. I'm chilling at home. We can go over this 50 more times. I'm not the person who gets bothered. So just want to make sure, we cover it because it's really simple, and see how effective it is. Like these breakouts are just, and those are the patterns. When people say, oh, what patterns are there? This is the patterns. You have 100 patterns in the market, but this is like what I found over 2+ years of trading, most efficient. And, so it's so simple. It's so simple. Look at this. Like this was just like amazing. And I have a really good feeling it's gonna happen right here too. And if it doesn't, if it breaks above, you get the retest here. Keep riding this channel up, again 100 plus pips, and maybe it breaks right here, and then it goes down here. And then you're gonna even get more. If you enter here, look at this, 410 pips.
So you trade during the news when? So I think, I could be wrong, but I think GBP has some news next week. Does that alter what you look at?
Not necessarily, because the news are always after I already am in the trade, So
Okay.
what the news can do? News can give you a strong retrace. They can push the market towards the key zone, like right here. So let's say we are in the sell from here. Let's just make this example. We entered sell right here, right? So we are riding down, we are up, let's say we are up 80 pips, right? And we hit this sort of, consolidation zone on 1 hour, and the news hit, and it pushes it down to this support, right? To stronger level. And now we could have either took the take profit, which we should, because that is the previous swing low, and not risk this, because we would be already up really well, 80 plus another 100 plus, so it will be up like 200 pips. So at that point, because there is a news impact, you want to definitely take your 200 pips and be happy about it and see what it does, because after that, it can do something like this. Because those news impact, all they do, they push the current momentum to where it needs to go before actually you get the retrace or market reversal, or they can, spike back up, give another retest here at this zone, and then, essentially continue where they were supposed to go.
Okay.
So I personally, I'm not scared of news because I'm already in the trade beforehand. Do I trade the news? Yes, sometimes I do, and if I do, let's say at night Eastern time, usually there's AUD and NZD news. So if it's red folders, I'm gonna enter like 30 seconds before official news release, and I'm gonna have my stop loss 20 pips if I'm selling or buying, or I might just do buy or sell stop depending if I see like a lot of like raging, because I don't wanna be taken out of the trade because of spread. But news I only do sometimes when I feel like playing around. But usually around that time, I'm not in any trades, if it's like most of my trades are closed by end of the New York session. And then between noon and like 10 p.m. at night, it is just break for me as far as the trading. I do other things. So.
Okay.
But yeah, yeah, go ahead.
What time frame do you use whenever you make those channels? Does it matter?
No, it doesn't matter. It just what I mentioned earlier for you is just important to be able to spot them. See, even if you turn this in 4 hour, it's still valid channel, right? And let's go, if we go in a daily, might not be so valid because daily candles are big, so you might have to extend channel a little bit more. But to make it efficient, you wanna mainly trade 1 hour and 4 hour channel, right? If you are intraday trader like me, if you are a swing trader, then you go on a weekly, right? And we're gonna find them so many times. Look at this. Here we go. It's just you like when I look at the chart, my eyes are already trained. Like I'm able to spot it. Look at this. You have this channel right here. This is on a weekly, right? So you have a breakout and you have a retest. And look, if you remember earlier, Dwayne, when we were talking about, look at this bullish candle retest the weekly resistance, right? And then the next one creates the doji, and you have this strong, like after this, like following week, I'm selling this all week because I have this, actually more like a hammer. So another confirmation that this zone is holding, and it's a retest after the channel breakout. So look what this candle does. It creates evening star, and it's engulfing completely previous candles. And this is what this one guy, his name is Mark Shazin. You can guys Google him. He's actually known as a pattern trader. His company goes by the pattern trader. This is what he trades. This guy is absolutely murdering it. He's been trading for 30 years, been trading at the Wall Street as well, etc. But look, you have the breakout and you entered here, right? Look at this trade. And look what I mentioned earlier, it goes to the previous swing low. Like this is some mad pips, bro. Like some mad pips. Look at this. 960 pips. And they caught this whole thing because this is how they trade. It broke the channel that was holding for a while, and they know it's gonna go to this previous swing low. Yeah, you have to hold it 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks, but you get 960 pips. And they traded 50 lots. So that's 400,000 after swaps and other things, right? So would you hold for 6 weeks, get 500,000 almost? I know I would. So there you go, and you can chill because this is going here. Like when these people actually teach you, they telling you like they make you believe in this like religion, because this is what they've been doing for years, and the market repeats doing this. It's just the price action. You cannot fake this. I mean, you're watching it like me, man. Like, oh my God, this is 900. Look at that. And you can chill and wait for this to hit and goes into your wallet. So if you are trying to swing trade, then you look on the weekly. But you should always look on the weekly, no matter what style you have, because you have to identify the trend, right? You have to know the weekly trend, at least daily, because you most of the time you don't want to counter trend. The times you counter trend, when there is a confluence between the key zone and the trend line, and maybe then you trade that retrace, you know, you want to get like 20, 30, 40, maybe 50 pips. But you know, it's just, I don't prefer. However, I do trade sometimes if it looks good. But yeah, we kind of went off the topic. But like 1 hour and 4 hour for these patterns, what I do. So yeah. And people think, you know, all these GBPs, it was all due to Brexit. It wasn't due to the Brexit. If you go on the weekly, you can clearly see that, you know, this was set up a while ago. And that's why you have to look on the higher time frame to refer for the price action in the past. Because what people fail to understand, the Forex market is obviously composed of the whole world economy, right? The strongest countries with their economies in the world. And it's like a import export, right? You some things you have to import, some things you produce a lot, so you export. So same thing is with those currencies. 1 year certain currency will be beat up, next year it might recover, because the world economy has to balance. You know, it cannot be just GBPs will be falling for next 20 years. No, they won't, you know, because unless the recession hits UK for 20 years, which is 1% probability, you know. So it's just looking it on a, you know, bigger picture, and to you know, add some sense to it. And I don't think I shared this, so I'm gonna add this to the group. And there we go. So this was all the pairs that they mentioned in the chat. What others you guys would like to go over, so we can cover that?
I don't have any more that I want to look at as of right now.
Okay.
Could you like list your like steps, what you do whenever you like first look at a pair?
When I first look at it, well, the thing is, I already have my zones marked, but let's say I lost my trading view. I would first open the, let's see if we have anything that is not so marked up. I think this is the one. Okay, let's see, because I haven't traded this pair in a while. So I would clear, you know, all this out. Let's say just to clear everything. Yes, I'm sure. You know, clear everything. And I would go on the weekly. So this is completely, you know, what people refer to naked chart. You know, no indicators, no nothing. So okay, here we have GBP CHF, right? So I want to trade. So I'm gonna turn this into line chart and try to find the key weekly zones. So we don't have, oh man, this is beat up like crazy. So we had a breakout here. So this will be considered resistance. The problem here is now, if you look at the current full line, this already broke below this previous support. So we might have to turn this at this point into candle chart, and we have to target this wick, because this wick, even though it wasn't the body of the price action, it's the lowest point this pair has ever been. Actually, take that back. There is one right here. I think that was August 2011. Okay, so good. We have another wick, so we can use it as a confluence. But besides that, no, we don't have anything. So, I mean, I personally don't like to have my zone based on VIX, but this is the only other level we can utilize. So mark this as a weekly support. Put it on the bottom. Obviously, this is weekly resistance. Here we go. So this is the first step I do, right? I go on the weekly, find you know, most relative support and resistance, and then we identify trend. So obviously this is strong bearish trend. Yeah, this is still very strong. And now we know we are in a downtrend, which is also very obvious if you just look at the market structure without even plotting this. So after that, we can, well, there was another thing that happened here, as you can see, you know, channel breakout and just fell, but nevertheless. So we have to now go on a smaller time frame to see if we can find some intraday zone. And we can kind of utilize this horizontal line. So this would be, let me see. Okay, so yeah. So we will use this as an intraday resistance. I'm gonna put that on top as well. But do we have intraday support? So let's see. It's a little bit harder to put it when the price in the past is far away from the current level. And let's use this as a support. And now we go back to the present time. And yeah, it did respect it. So mark this. And put that on the bottom. So here we have, okay. So since we already see that this impulse move has ended, right? So at this point, what I would do, I'm on 4 hour, I would measure this move, right? This impulse started, I'm gonna use it from here to here, right? And now if I'm looking to trade this pair, right? What I will do, I will watch it now. See what do we get here. What level of fibs will be rejected? Here, I would personally favor 61.8. Why? Because we have this structure right here, you see. So that will make a confluence between it. And that will make sense for this to retest the previous consolidation. And from here, maybe we can look to potentially sell this, right? And what I would do if I'm thinking to trade this, I will write myself a reminder, or I will set the alert. Alert you can set here, you know, pair GBP, you know, set those values. You can also send by email, and you put the level at which, so let's say it goes to 1.200. So you're gonna put here 1.200 and create the alert. Or you set yourself a reminder to, you know, keep checking this. You can do it on the phone too. You just have to remember the zone that you are looking for it to respect and retrace to. And once that happens, let's say the price approaches this level, I'm gonna switch to 1 hour and look for, you know, rejection off of this 61.8. And that's when I would look to sell it further. However, if we get the stronger retrace, and we get the closure below 88.6, then I'm gonna look for to buy this, because it might be time to reverse and we might go to this weekly resistance. As long as this respects up to 78.6, which could also be the retrace, because 78.6 on a trend is the last level of the retrace before actually the trend reverses. And that is all I would look for. If this starts forming the channel, obviously we're gonna add the channel to it. But if you are looking to scalp this, let's see what we can do. So let's say we'll do something like this. So if this breaks above the channel, gives you retest, you can, you know, enter on this buy and now look for it to retrace. But this could very well just retrace to this 38.2 and then drop from there. So that's pretty much all that I would look at. Just to get some confirmation from where, you know, I should take this, because this can also just fall from here. It might not even break the channel. It might just keep going back down here, and then now you're at the intraday support, and you're gonna see if you extend this channel, if you get the breakout here, which is even better confirmation. So then you have a breakout and retest of the both channel and this intraday support, and you can just take this buy. Does that make sense? Does it help at all?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what I look for. And if I see this and I'm looking to enter it, I personally enter on 5-minute chart, because it's less slippage and it's less drawdown when you enter on 5 minutes. Or immediately when, you know, I see the candle that I like, I will wait for the new one or this to close, and immediately as the new one's open, I'm gonna enter the trade. So I mean, that's pretty much all. You can look for you know, candle formations as well. You know, there's many, like engulfing, you know, morning, evening star. There's vectoring. Vectoring is, let's find an example of vectoring. This is vectoring, right? When you have a lot of wicks, where you know, few candles in a row leave many wicks on one side. In this case, you know, to the bottom, and that means you know, it's rejecting to go lower. And obviously you can see follow up that, you know, there was a rise in this, so that's considered vectoring. So, you know, I mean, it just depends what you see that mainly works for you. You know, I try to learn many, as much as possible, you know, candlestick formations, so it just builds up onto what already works for me. So, you know, it's always, you know, continuous learning in Forex. So whatever else you have, here we can go over it. But I really like this GN. This can be really good. And GJ, I believe GJ is gonna come through as well. Should be a nice trade. I'm still holding it. Yeah, 195 pips. GA, geez, oh, clear this up. It's riding this channel. Let's see. It's an interesting zone. We'll see if it maintains above here, but the thing is it's approaching the trend line as well. So it could be riding and then, you know, bounce here and break. I would definitely like to take that too. So it's something to watch too. But yeah, I mean, pretty much I don't chase any trades, you know. I don't have this urge like when I first started that I will be, you know, trading 20 pairs a day and that I just have to trade. No, it's definitely, you know, quality setups over, you know, many setups. So you just want to wait for the right trade and, you know, maximize on it. Besides that, I mean, I really try to, you know, keep it simple because I was overwhelmed my first year, you know, I was trying to learn moving averages, you know, divergence, you know, with RSI, MACD, you know, a bunch of indicators, then Bollinger Band strategy. Then I was trying to learn those, you know, patterns like butterfly, deep crab, bat. You know, there's so many. They're obviously composed of you know, Fibonacci retracements. But you know, while you wait for those patterns to develop, you can already, you know, monetize a lot, and you know, it's just by simple price action. So that's pretty much all what I do. Yep. Noel, you still trade Ripple on the weekend?
Yeah, I'm actually in it right now.
You buying or?
I got in a sale. I caught it whenever it waked up, but I'm probably gonna get out soon.
Yeah, I haven't traded it in a minute. Honestly, I think it's gonna recover soon. Let's see.
What do you see it doing?
I'm trying to see. It's stuck in the zone. Let me see. It's been here for a minute. I mean, I would say if it breaks above this, you can pretty much buy it. So I don't think it's gonna, unless it respects this. But you know, and this is a good example. You know, you watch it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you can see. Well, obviously not this candle. This candle is gonna close bullish, but maybe in 22 minutes, you can see how next candle opens. If it rejects this, and you know, maybe you can sell it again. But you know, if it breaks above, I'll probably buy this. To let's see where you can target. You can, yeah, definitely this. So you can target 33. So it's about what's that gonna be? Is that 70 or 700 pips? I forgot for the crypto. I think it's gonna be 700, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
700.
That's a nice trade. And then obviously if it breaks that, then yeah, you can target 34. I personally, you know, try to round up, you know, with the cryptos to go for like a even number. Actually, let me see, based on K2, what is this doing?
Do you use it on the
Man.
K2?
Yeah, I do use for the gold and for actually for this too. Damn, look at the buy signal here. Shit,
Oh, damn.
God damn. Wow. 780 pips. I forgot
Cashing out.
about. Damn, I forgot. Yeah, it's pretty good. Um, I usually want to use it like with the trend, but since here, when it's, I guess, bluish, it means that the trend is not perfectly determined. When it's red, obviously it's a bearish, so you're gonna take a sell signal. If it's green, then you do take a bullish signals, which actually confirmed here. So even if you bought here, some really good pips. Yeah, 700. Yeah, he might be rejecting now. It is above the cloud too, so based on his strategy, you wouldn't be looking to sell, but you might get the sell signal. I usually use it on a 30 minutes because that's where it's most effective.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was hell of a trade. Pretty sure Bitcoin went up too, because usually Bitcoin pulls Ripple. Let's see. Oh yeah, damn. Definitely missed that. So the one rule, you want to wait for this signal to close, meaning the 30-minute, to close and to confirm the buy signal, and then you would enter right here. Oh my God, damn, that was a trade.
Damn.
Shit.
Yeah, Bitcoin's crazy.
Wow. Bro, is that really 2,000 pips? Wow, yeah, definitely came to 11,000. No, that's gotta be 240. Yeah, that's 240. I was about to say that doesn't look like 2,000, but still really good pips. No drawdown whatsoever. You see, didn't even came back. Like just kept.
Just got a possibility to reach 1,000.
Yeah, I mean, you see, my next level is at 11,400.
It shoots up like that too and goes down. So it's
Yeah,
crazy spikes.
Yeah, Bitcoin is crazy. But look at this. Let's see on a 4 hour. Look where the buy signal was. God damn, look at this.
Holy shit.
Wow. Now that is 905 pips. And the trend meter confirmed the uptrend. Yeah, I mean it's definitely a good tool. Definitely, I personally definitely use it. I'm subscribed to it too. Otherwise, I wouldn't have the access. Because it does help you. Even if you have your own strategy that works for you. I mean, it's just additional thing. But really works well with the gold. I was able to notice like really. Let's see.
What do you see gold doing? Oh, going down.
Yeah, I see it going. Yeah. I have a sell from 1445, so I'm up 44 pips right now. So I see it coming back down, and it did have the sell signal there too.
Yeah, I got in at 44.
Oh, okay, yeah, you're good. So I would hold it like even here buy signal, you were in drawdown, only like 20 pips, but it came up 120. Yeah, it's really good on gold. Like it really good. Like look, another buy signal, and obviously it's uptrend, so I'm only looking to take buy signals. So here, yeah, that was a nice trade.
300.
Wow. Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's working well. It really is. I mean, what's his name? Sean is doing some more back testing. I was suggesting him because on Friday he has a script that can check all the K2 signals that came out that day and see the net profit on them. And actually on Friday it caught like 504 pips. It's like crazy. So I told him just go back, talk to your coder, because he has the guy who developed this for him based on his inputs. So I told him just talk to him, see if he can make EA, the trading bot, so that way you can take all of those trades, man. Like even if you can catch like 100 in a day, that's amazing. It's really not losing. Like overall, it's definitely winning really good. He did told me that like July and August are usually kind of iffy months, and they were even regular trading. But he said once September starts, like this is like 90% killing it. So I'm definitely looking forward to that.
Yeah, I like it. It's good.
I mean, anything that helps, just use it. You just have to go for something that makes sense. Test it, take a look. Demo it if you need. Until you see that you really got it and it really works. I mean, that's pretty much it. But yeah, I want to see gold fall actually to this intraday zone, because it has more confluence. But based on other XXX USD pairs, I think there's gonna be an overall buy for the next week, because Euro USD it's at a really good buying point. Where is it? Yeah, unless it breaks below this zone. Yeah, so unless it breaks below and closes underneath, this is due to a good recovery. But they will also need a strong euro. I haven't really looked at the FOREX factory. All right, tomorrow. Oh, damn, big NZD news. Oh, this is GN is gonna be definitely pair for tomorrow evening. This is really big. Gonna be a big move on NZD 645. So by the way, this is Eastern Standard Time, because I set it to my zone. And then NZD on Tuesday too. Damn. So RBNZ is pretty much like a central bank for Europe, or FOMC for US, for in case some of you not sure. So it's definitely a huge impact as well, both Monday and Tuesday. Thursday we have some AUD. This statement can move it. And then, oh yeah, we don't really have GBP until Friday, so we should be really banking on GBP until Friday, at least. And then CAD, unemployment rate. Yeah, this should actually be a really good week. I don't see anything concerning.
So will you stay away from trading GNZD, or will you look to see what the news says and then strengthen your position?
I'll probably trade NZD tonight, London. But for this, depending where the structure is, I might be entering the on news, because this move, like some of like this, if I remember well, last month when this report was, I think GBP NZD went up like 190 pips just off of the news. So I would definitely like to catch some of that. But like I said, at that time, it was also around the weekly support. So it just gave that strong rejection off of it. and it's really high impact. You know, obviously unemployment rate and employment change. It's a strong economic report. Definitely will move a lot. And so this is another thing. I have a friend. He's known as a news trader, but he only trades USD and whichever news releases. So, for example, if in this case NZD, he will trade NZD USD. For me, I'm gonna trade more volatile pair, right? I'm gonna trade GN because I know it's gonna move twice more than NZD USD. You know, so if I'm really gonna catch it, I'm gonna definitely catch it good. Same here. If it's AUD, I'm not gonna trade AUD USD. I'm gonna trade GBP AUD because it's more volatile pair. You know, does that make sense? You can also do Euro AUD. Excuse me, because that moves also a lot. And then when it's GBP, I will check GBP USD, GBP JPY, because they will move a lot. And for the CAD, obviously with the CAD, you can do USD CAD, you can do Euro CAD, and you can do GBP CAD, obviously, if you really want to trade news, because that will be a strong move. But that's as far as I, if I decide to trade news. But it's looking good, you know, really nothing concerning. For me, it's mainly GBP and Euro. Those are the news that, you know, I mainly, you know, watch for, because those are my pairs, my primarily pairs. So yeah, there's some USD, but this report doesn't really has that strong of an impact, even though it's, but it could, it definitely could, you know, at least gold. Gold will get some boost off of this. That's, yeah. So I think it's going to be a really good week. Also, NFP is on. So I'm really interested what this will do. Because, okay, so I forgot to mention this. Some people just trade using Fibonacci, right? So if you get rejection, let's clear this up now because I already shared in a group. If you get rejection from this point to 38.2, right? Then if it rejects here and you sell it, your first take profit is -27 because those are fib extensions. And if it rejects 38.2, it's most likely going to go to 61.8, but those three levels will be your take profits, Fibonacci levels. So if you decide to become Fibonacci trader, some people just do that, you know, they spot the impulse. Okay, let's say the impulse started here, ended there, measure the retrace, and based on the retrace, I know which level to target. You know, you have many trainings on YouTube how to use that. If you wanna just trade Fibonacci, you can just do that. You know, those people don't even use support, resistance, patterns, nothing. They just use Fibonacci as a tool. And they look, you know, previous swing low high, and that's it. You only pretty much look for two things. But you really have to know where to draw Fibonacci and how to use it. But you know, it's really high percentage of winners with this. I use it definitely, but I use it with, you know, a few other things just for more confidence. But yeah, just wanted to mention that since, you know, I seen it. And but yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. I'm gonna this is recorded. I'm gonna stop